When you're typing a text and your phone suggests the exact word you were thinking of, it feels like the machine is reading your mind. You type, "I'm on my," and it instantly offers up the word way. But your phone doesn't actually have a brain. It has no idea what "on my way" means, and it doesn't understand the feelings or intentions behind your message. Since the machine can't actually think, how does it manage to finish your sentences so accurately? It turns out that autocomplete is just a game of counting. The computer isn't understanding your thoughts, it's just following mathematical patterns. The method computers use to find these patterns is a concept called the n-gram. To a computer, a gram is just a chunk of information. If you look at one word at a time, that's a 1 gram. If you look at two words together, that's a 2 gram. The n is just a placeholder for the size of the byte the computer is taking. Claude Shannon first explored this idea in 1948. He realized that language follows predictable sequences, and that those sequences could be measured with math. Other experts, like Noam Chomsky, argued that human speech was far too complex for this. They believed that just counting words would never be enough to capture the richness of how we talk. But machines don't need to feel the richness of a sentence. They just need to process the numbers. By treating language as a long string of data points, computers finally found a way to guess what we might say next. To find these numbers, computers use something called a sliding window. Let's look at a simple sentence. I love coding in Python. A one-word window creates a unigram. The computer sees I, then love. Stretch to 2 words for a bigram. It sees I love, then love coding. Make it 3 words for a trigram. The machine sees I love coding, capturing more context. By sliding this window across millions of sentences, the computer transforms a fluid conversation into a huge collection of overlapping data points. Once the computer has those pieces, it creates a scoreboard to count how often they appear in books, articles, and websites. For example, the computer tracks how many times the word Francisco appears immediately after the word San. But it also counts how often Diego follows San. If San Diego appears twice as often in its memory, Diego gets a higher score. So when you type San, the phone doesn't think about a city. It just sees the high score on its board and suggests Diego. You might wonder why the computer doesn't just use 10-word chunks to get even more context and predict entire paragraphs. The problem is that long sequences are very rare. A specific 10-word sentence might have only been typed once in history. If the computer has never seen that sequence before, it has no data to help it guess what comes next. On the other hand, looking at just one word at a time is too brat. Knowing the word "the" is popular doesn't help the computer predict the specific thought you're having. 2- and 3-word chunks are the perfect sweet spot. They provide plenty of data while capturing the right context. This counting method works for more than just full words. It can be used for any sequence of information. If you look at one letter at a time, you have the logic for spell check. The computer knows that in English, the letter Q is almost always followed by U, so it can spot a mistake if you type something else. It even works for sound. By breaking speech down into the tiny individual noises we make, voice assistants can count which sounds usually follow each other to figure out what you're saying. Whether it's typed letters or spoken sounds, any stream of information can be broken down and predicted using this same counting logic. This same math is even helping us understand life itself. In biology, researchers use n-grams to study DNA, treating the 4 chemical building blocks of our genetic code like letters in a sentence. Just like different languages have different word patterns, different species have unique patterns in their DNA. By counting how often specific chemical pairs appear, scientists compare a mystery sample against a database to identify exactly what it is. It's the same logic your phone uses for autocomplete, applied to the building blocks of nature. By breaking large amounts of information into these small, overlapping chunks, computers can find the underlying patterns in almost anything, from the next word in your text to the genetic code of a living thing.